Good evening once again, and welcome to Kaiso Talk. And we have to apologize for last week. Of course, we all know it was because of the intercall games. Yeah, ran a little late, and so we had to make some adjustments to our programming. But we're back this week, and we have a very special guest with us, Powerhouse in Kaiso. And we'll tell you, and you'll see and hear from her in just a moment. So we welcome our viewers on GBN Television 711, our friends on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, and of course all our listeners on K105 FM. Welcome to Kaiso Talk. Val, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Godfrey, and good evening, Tigress. Good evening to the whole of Grenada, and good evening to all the listeners all up the Windward Islands. You know, great to be here again to begin another Talk ISO session.
Yes, indeed. And of course, we left the Queen for last. It is a pleasure to have her in our presence, the lady Joanne Rowley, Tigress. Tigress, good evening. Welcome.
And thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much to Valton also for inviting me. And a special good evening to all the listeners, wherever you are, under the power of our voice. Thank you for listening.
Yes, indeed, folks. We're going to be hearing a lot from her. Those of you who maybe you never heard of Tigress, but I can guarantee you've heard about the United Sisters. And I'm sure there's a particular calypso that you know. Yuen Si Wajang Yet. You remember that one? All right. So we're going to start with Tigress. Tigress, tell us who is Tigress. Let's start from the start.
From the start, who is Tigress? Like I always tell people, my name is Rowley, as everyone knows, and it's a name that I wear with pride. I wear a name with pride because I'm proud of who I am. I am Joanne Rowley, the Tigress, who entered the arena in 1988, and I was introduced into this beautiful art form, Calypso, by King Luther. Morel Peters.
Luther, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is who brought me into Calypso. Because I used to take part in the regional competitions and I won them that year. And he said, that's it, we are going. And from since then, it has been no looking back. 1988, I pulled number 1 for Calypso Fiesta and made it all the way to the finals and placed 4th. And there has been no looking back for Tigress since then.
Wonderful. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back a bit before Tigress, Joanne Rowley. Tell us a little bit about you.
About me, I am bold. I am. You cannot miss me. When I walk into a room, you're going to know Tigress is there. How did I come up with that name? Tigress is always the other question people ask me. And I didn't want to be the normal singing this or lady that. I wanted something different. And funny enough, the only other name that it had different was Marvelous Marva. Everybody was singing this
right.
old lady that. That was the only, and Calypso Rose, of course. But that was the only thing. And I didn't see me being a flower. If I had to be a flower, I'd have had to be like a cactus or a pumpkin or something like that. And I think one of the most graceful animals is the tiger. You could almost see every color of the rainbow in the tiger if you look there. And that so describes who I am. And orange is my favorite color.
Right.
So we fit really, really well. And there, Tigress was born. But Tigress, who is Mother Tigress? Tigress is a mother, a grandmother. Well, I have to be proud to say, a great-grandmother. And a wife, well, I ain't go down the wife part. I've only been divorced 1, 2, 3. Let me ain't go down that road. But that is who Tigress is in a nutshell.
Right. So let me ask you my favorite question I ask every Trinidadian Calypsonian. Tell us about your Grenadian background.
My Grenadian background is through marriage, believe it or not.
Oh, fantastic.
My first marriage my married name was Fletcher. So that's my Grenadian background. My family came from Montserrat.
Okay, wonderful, yes. wonderful.
My family is Irish and Mead from Montserrat.
Well,
yes, so I got into Grenada by marriage.
Well, Val, I can't really claim her that much. I mean, let's claim everybody else.
No, you can go right ahead and claim me because I love Grenada anyway.
I think when you look at Tigress, you're from Point 14, right?
Believe it or not, I grew up in Moruga, but my husband was from Ludbury, and when I started to sing, I was living in Ludbury.
All right.
Yes,
Because
so
I know that.
I'm an honorary librarian.
All right, I know that a lot of Point people do have Grenadian roots.
Yes, indeed.
I am Grenadian roots, but I got it.
Marriage.
I got it by marriage.
Yes.
So that's my married name.
All right, so I want to jump in with a question. You mentioned you started with Luther, right? And is it Pong for Pong?
Yes. What is and Pong
Was
for
it Pong for Pong?
Yes.
What is and Pong for Pong?
Yes.
And somehow in a discussion, Luther said that you did not get into a tent with Pong for Pong.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I was in the what is now called Kaiso house.
Right.
Kaiso house. All right. Maybe time makes a mess of some information, but I thought he was saying that you probably weren't in a tent, but you got in through another process, and reached the final. But you actually saying that no, yeah.
No,
right.
I was in the tent and pulled number one for Skinner Park. And made it made it all the way to the finals in the first year.
All the way to the finals.
Fantastic.
In the first year.
Right. So how was that?
What year was? Yeah.
That was 1988. That was very scary. I'll never forget that. Oh yes, elaborate. It was scary. Elaborate. I got a diarrhea from the time I pulled number one. Everybody was like, wow. From the time I pulled that number one, I got that the semi-final day. I would never forget that. Luther tell everybody, come out of the room, leave her alone. And every time I think about, I stand up already. I'm thinking I am going to meet Skinner Park. And what is? I came out in a red dress. And I'll never forget Drina and them stand up and they're watching me like, who is this one? When I took off the red dress and I had on a painted sweatsuit with a tiger on it, they said, I did damn thing self, and they start, and I said, well, thank you, Jesus, but this hurdle. But that is one place you never put down your gloves on that place, though, on Skinner Park, never.
Well, that's where that, because after Skinner Park is it's do or die. I mean, you know.
Yes, yes. And I thank God I've had many trips there, and I've been to the Calypso Monarch final on 9 occasions. And I thank God for that.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes. I'm going to ask you a question. You know, in the 9 times you've been at the final, have you ever felt like, you know what? Well, I think I won it, but they probably just still have some money for me?
Yeah, they do. They have some money for me.
Right, yeah, okay.
And Tuko have money for me for a lot of things, believe it or not.
Right.
But one of them is 2009 UNC Wajang yet.
But yeah, they owe you for that.
Yeah,
right.
They could say what they want.
Yeah, they owe you for that. I agree, yeah, they have some money for you.
They could say what they want. And the other time that I know I didn't come 9th. And I am a person that's protest by myself. I don't ask for no help. I am not one to write a letter and ask people to sign for me. I could sign for myself and I could speak for myself. And I have my own protests going on since 2019. Because in 2015, I got a call that I lost one of my sons.
Oh, boy.
In 2017, I got that call again. I lost another son. I was not in a good place. I was functioning, but not in a good place. I was getting up and going to work, but I was merely going through the motions because now I am raising a 12-year-old because my oldest son had custody of his daughter and was raising her, and I took her. And I was going through, but Black Stalin keep telling me, do your music. Keep doing your music. And when I was about to sing some song I was about to sing in 2019, and I was like, I'm not feeling this. And I went to therapy because I was in therapy. And I remember telling my therapist, she asked me, how are you thinking today? And I said, there is not a name for when you lose your child. I said, when you lose your spouse, you become a widower. If you lose your parents, you become an orphan. But there is no name. And that woman looked at me and said, you never thought about that. And I'm like, hold up. You're the one, this is going through my head. You're the one with all the accolades on the wall, and you telling me. And right there and then I decided I'm going to be my own therapist. And I decided I'm doing that through my music. And I did Who Feels It Knows. So that song was my life. I bear my soul. And I know I didn't come ninth. Because I topped the semifinals, which has absolutely nothing to do with your placing. But I came ninth. No. And since then, I felt as though you insulted me. So that's just me. That was one of the times again. That was one of the times. The other times, like one time I would find, no, I should not have had. I hate props. I don't like props at all. And I don't know why sometimes I just go to the extreme. And there are times that I am always very critical of myself. Maybe I should not have done that. Maybe I should not have done that. But I could tell you about those two times. I was dealt unfair.
Right.
Other than that, I am not one to make noise. If that's what the call to God say I have to go, so be it. But what that song has done for me, there is no crown that could replace that stuff. Because I get the calls 2 o'clock up to now, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I am at my wit's end. I know so many therapists all over the place and so many mental institutions, it isn't funny, based on Who Feels It Knows. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, no, definitely. Val, anything else you want to throw at Joan before I continue?
Yeah, I mean, Joan has been out there, you said 1988.
Yes.
1988 to now, that's 37 years of being in the battlefield.
Yes. Being in the battlefield is quite right.
In the battlefield. Someone mentioned this year that they are 65 and relevant. I'm not holding an age on thing. And I know you had a similar statement that about age and performing.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
The stage has no age.
Stage has no age. Let's talk about that.
Well, the stage has no age. I think I kind of, I wouldn't say shot myself in my foot because it was wrong and it was wrong. But I wrote a letter because, you see, and like we had a little pre-conversation earlier of where Calypso has gone now, where you are being muzzled, and I kind of too grown for people to tell me what to say, or that I have to say what people want. And that was part of that, because the stage does not have an age. I have been to about 3 Sir Elton John concerts when that was his final concert. About 3 of them already. And that is how many times that he was coming off the stage and people didn't want him to come off. And if Elton John come now and have a concert, I'm going again. And it's going to be sold out again. It's only in the Caribbean that we find, as soon as you see it too much, you time for you to come off the stage now, you're too old. No, I don't. If you think I'm too old, you come with your young self and get me off.
I like that. Val, Skaty had a song this year. Was it? What was it?
That was all children from the stage have no.
Yes. Same thing.
I guess senior Calypsonians feel that people want to put them out of pasture.
Yes.
Way too early. And they are fighting back, and rightly so.
Exactly.
They're telling Chogdas that he shouldn't be participate in the final anymore.
Okay, but come and take the crown from me.
But that's the thing.
Take it from me.
But there's
I won it 11 times. You come and take it from me.
Strangely enough, there's another side to this. because you hear these calls. Oh, give the young people a chance, and then you decide, okay, fine, and you're going to pull back for maybe a year or two. And then the very same people who were complaining that you take a rest, they start complaining that, well, it's not as it used to be.
It's not.
But what should I do?
When I started singing, I was singing to two sides of the savannah. The young people have it at only one side. When we were singing, it was two songs.
Mm-hmm.
The young people have it as only one song. So do we need to weigh and measure this and see what are you really bringing to the table?
Good that you mentioned this, though. What's your take on it? The change from, and I think it happened in Trinidad a couple of times. So they moved from the two songs to one song, then they went back to two songs, and now they're back to one song?
Now they're back to one song.
Mm-hmm.
While I personally like two songs, this two songs balances you off. But right now, with the economics, it's better that you do one song, because you are really just wasting another song. There is not a market anymore for Calypso. And everybody blames everybody else besides exactly what is going on. There was a time, Godfrey, when the music came from the Calypsonian.
Mm-hmm.
So Super Blue would have a social commentary and he will have a party song. That was the party music.
Yeah.
But then the wheel changed a little bit. And then we got a band. So you had the Colin Lucases and the Steve Seeleys. And then the band no longer took the music from the Calypsonian. The band started making their own song.
Yeah.
So you have the Sherwin Winchesters and the Ronnie McIntoshes with Chandelier, that they have their own music. So the Calypsonian get pushed back a little bit again. Then you have the promoter now who come and take one person from the tent and one person from the band, and they do a show.
Mm.
So the person who would come to the tent would now go to the show, because for that money you get more for your dollar. So the Calypsonian get pushed back, the tent get pushed back, and that is who you're hearing. And then the wheels shifted again, where the DJs start to sing now. So the band get pushed back, the Calypsonian get pushed back, and the DJ playing. This is how you have Ding Dong and Charles Marshall and JW and Blaze and all of them. They are radio DJs. Mm-hmm. They are obviously going to play themselves. So you see how far back the Calypsonian is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You see how far back. And then they blame it on, oh, you're singing stupidness. You have nothing to sing, because you down in the back down there in any event. You have ladies' night out, you have Battle of the Sexes, you have, and then now the soca singers have their own show. They might bring a little excerpt from. So you have so many things going on that the Calypsonian remain quite down in the back there. And the other thing is, Calypsonians didn't used to record so much. So you go to the tent to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're recording now. And then we have YouTube. So you don't really have to. So again, you see how far back the Calypsonian is. Really, really far.
Mm-hmm. Val, I mean, we've heard a number of reasons for that whole issue. I've never quite heard it like how Tigress has put it. What's your take on this?
How I analyze it.
Yeah. No, of course, yes.
I think that, and I'm not saying that Joanne is wrong in terms of her assessment of Calypso, but one could look, let's say, at Skinner Park semi-final over the years. When you started in 88, 89, coming up the road, up to that 91 period, where the park depended solely on Calypso. And you had thousands of people in the park following Calypso. Calypso was at its height. Now,
because that was the only music.
Right, but in order to get people in the park, the Calypso fraternity is now inviting soca and other things into the space. People used to come to the park because the park is Kaiso Fiesta. They come to hear Calypso predominantly. They did not need any other dressing, side dishes, and so on.
They still don't.
Right. But now I think it's almost the organization feels that it is almost compelled to have artists in the park to bring a crowd in, so that you're doing yourself an injustice.
And Tuco knows how to do that really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Really well. They know how to do the injustices really, really well. Take, for example, I always say there are things that is etched into the fabric and the tapestry of our culture that you leave alone. Kaiso is at high noon. Why would you put it at 2 o'clock? Why would you put it at 2 o'clock? I would never, it's not once I sang number one in the park, it's more than one. And I remember the stage manager, Mr. Lennox Tuse, come in and get you at 11:30, because at 12 o'clock when that anthem starts, one person which always used to be most of the time Power, if you could remember that, Valton. Power is always the guest artist that's going to sing then. The microphone is working and then competition starts.
Begins.
Change it to 2 o'clock this year. Next thing you know, if somebody said that the police had to stop it because it had to stop at 12.
Yeah, went over time.
It went over time. But again, we are really good at shooting ourselves in the foot. We're good at that.
All
I mean, Tuco, they're good at that.
Yeah. But I know Godfrey had this question, but let me jump ahead. So that it has to come in, because we can't talk Tigress without speaking about United Sisters too.
But of
How did
course.
that come about? Who initiated it? How did it come about?
That's an act of God. That's the only way to describe United Sisters. Because United Sisters really was a call for women to be a force, just for us to be a force, a body to be reckoned with. Because in the tent, you always used to find that they find too many women on the cast. And they always had that with us, because in spite of United Sisters, remember, we were 4 individual artists before United Sisters.
Right.
And I remember one year it was United Sisters, Ella Andel, Natasha Wilson. Oh, the men had a problem because they find it have too many women in tent. It was a call for that. And that didn't happen. But there was this gentleman from Guyana. I think he used to manage the Mighty Sparrow, Mr. Cyril Shaw. And he used to have Sandra working with him, and he used to call us Calypso Supremes. And he used to have myself, Sandra, but I came on late because I started after all of them.
Okay.
And then I joined on with it too. And we used to travel together all the time. We used to do up and down the Caribbean. All year we are up and down the Caribbean with Mr. Cyril Shaw. And it was out of that it was born, because I took part in Caribbean in the CBU Song Festival in 1988. So that is how Amber Tyler Woman, which was the first song that we had, came about. And when I mentioned it to them, and Lady B and Kenny Phillips did that song. So from there, it was just Almighty God seeing that this is, and out of that United Sisters was born, because we wanted a united front for the women. Because women were always just a token. Oh, well, put up a woman on the cast. That's how it used to be. And we decided, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. And we were going to stand up, and stood up we did.
And how well did it work for you all?
Who came up with the name? That's all I want to know. Who came up with the name? Was it a joint thing? Was it Cyril Shaw?
It was a joint thing. It was a joint thing. That worked really, really well for us. It helped each and every one of us career. We are bonded up to today. Although Lady B and Sandra is gone, But United Sisters remain United Sisters. And it's nobody to replace anybody. That's it. People ask us that all the time. No. That was United Sisters. And who here now? Myself and Marva. And Marva, belated happy birthday. She celebrated her birthday last week, Wednesday, the same date. And we are United Sisters.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, yes, it is.
You all had this massive hit, Whoa Donkey.
Yes.
Let me ask. So about the group. I mean, who was the lead in terms of the singing? And maybe the songs that you all did. Did you all write like individual songs, or you had a writer, or how did it work?
Preacher was the writer for Whoa Donkey.
Preacher. Yeah,
Preacher. Barnett Henry the Preacher.
Yes, I remember.
Yes, he did that, and it had no lead. Everybody had their own individual piece because it's 4 completely different energies you bring in there, which is exactly what it was. It had no lead on that.
All right, Joanne, the mic is on you. So let's speak the truth. How did the sisters, 4 of you, felt about the song when it was presented to you?
The only person that liked, I think Sandra did not like it. I had a problem with, we did not sit down and set up how we are going about this financially. The people that really was into the song, and again, because myself and Marva knew Preacher, we were for the song. Kenny was for it immediately. But of course, by the time the song was recorded, that was something completely different.
Because it was a big song. I mean, it took off. I mean, that was one of the biggest songs in the Caribbean, you know.
If anybody, it had somebody we used to mock. And Kenny always used to say that I just mock everybody. And if anybody that have the original recording that Eric St. Bernard played on the radio, you would hear me talking at the end of it. That is how much the song took off. It wasn't even the proper mixed version. It was just a rush thing to carry to the radio, and that was it. The song never looked back from there.
There was also
a day actually.
I think out of that came the Donkey Dance. There was a Donkey Dance as well.
No. Donkey Dance was before.
Was
Donkey
before?
Dance
Okay.
Really came out of St. Croix with Pat. That is where that came from. From Pat. And then Ronnie just used to ad-lib on it. And then he had a song, and by the time our song came about, that was it. As a matter of fact, we created history in 1993 at Cruise Ship Complex. And when that fiasco happened down there, because when we went on stage, as soon as the people heard, what time it is? Donkey time. They broke down the wall, bottles were everywhere, and from that they stopped glass bottles in fact. Believe it or not.
Interesting.
Yes, it was out of that. No, they don't have glass bottles in FETs anymore.
Kaiso talk, Val. I mean,
yes.
Right. Joanne, you have a massive song, you know? How have the sisters, survived? After such a hit, what happened? You were looking for another hit. You realized that what happened? What happened after? I know that now that you have this big hit, do you just go searching for another one? What happened?
You would not believe. We had, that time it was cassette. We had a cassette with a wealth, with, oh my God, some songs that was on there. Alan Welch sang one a couple of years after. Put your hand on your head and whine, whine, whine. We had that. Believe it or not. We had that. But then something happened with Preacher and Sandra and something, and he take back this song, and you know how the thing does go. But whichever way, we had a wonderful time with that. We did get songs after that, but nothing could ever come close to Donkey.
No, I mean that donkey is just
Two questions for you.
Uh-huh.
When did it come to an end? When did you all decide? Well, look, let's. We had our high off of this thing. Now it's time to wrap it up. When did that happen?
We never wrapped up anything.
Never wrap it up.
No.
All right. No, but you disbanded. You went back into being individual women.
We never stopped being individuals.
Oh.
We never stopped being individuals. I honestly want to think it kind of fell apart when I left Trinidad.
All right.
I think so. Yeah, because it wasn't. And funny enough, people would know United Sisters and they know it's 4. And you would see 2 and you will ask, where the rest? You don't know who missing. You don't know who missing, but you know. So I think it kind of fell apart when I left Trinidad. Yes, I think so.
It took me a little while before I realized that United Sisters weren't 3. I always thought it was 3. And later on I realized that Lady B was also part of the group. Yeah.
And then she passed, and it got sad.
Yeah, well, of course it will.
Yes, it got sad from there. But the thing about it is that even up until Sandra's passing, we still almost speak every day. Believe it or not.
But when did you all stop performing as a group?
We performed, the last time we performed was a couple of years ago, and that was just the 3 of us, myself, Sandra, and Marva, on a show that Ellsworth James had in Trinidad. That was the last time we performed together as a group.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago, yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Joanne, last United Sisters question. Sandra and Lady B has passed. How has that affected you personally and as an artist?
But Lady B was ill. And we knew that. So it's not that you accept it, but when you believe in God, you don't question him. But Sandra went to the hospital to get a procedure done. And and it was in the height of COVID. And I saw her calling me, I saw her calling me 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, why are you not sleeping? And the other voice at the end said, this is not Sandra. I'm like, where is Sandra? Sandra is dead. I'm like, what? And it's almost as if I used to quarrel with her all the time. I used to quarrel with her. She used to tell me, if friend, I knew it's not the big sister, it's me. I would always get that from
yes,
her.
Okay.
And when I see her in her live, I would, Sandra Andrea Devines Millington, did I tell you stop making these lives? So if she go on the live, she will say, I know my sister must be watching me and telling me come off the live. And believe it or not, there are times that I wish she was there to make a live. Because she definitely is missed. She definitely, don't mind you, don't think that we were all cherry blossom and apple pies, you know.
Well, of course not. I mean,
Sandra wasn't talking, but yes. I going home by her. That have absolutely nothing to do with it, because I go in and look for her mother. That have nothing to do with it. I go in and look for her mother. That have nothing to do with I and her not speaking. Because of course we are, again, 4 different energies.
Yes.
You know, and that's how life goes. But at the end of the day, we had each other's back.
Wonderful. I tell you what, we just take a short commercial break, and we'll come back and get a little more into your personal career as a Kaisonian. So stay with us, folks. We're talking to Tigress. Val is here. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
The new Granville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. your ears today.
Attention all divers, snorkelers and underwater enthusiasts. Effective May 15th, 2025, all visitors to the renowned Mullinair Underwater Sculpture Park will be required to pay a small fee of US $3.50 or EC $10 per person. These fees are essential to support the ongoing maintenance and repairs of the sculptures, as well as the development of new features to ensure the park remains a world-class attraction. Payment can be made through the Grenada Tourism Authority's online payment portal, available on the Pure Grenada website, www.puregrenada.com. We thank you for your support in enhancing this extraordinary underwater product. This announcement is brought to you by the Grenada Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, dedicated to protecting and conserving Grenada's resources for the enjoyment of all. Have you heard about the new soft weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Softweave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Softweave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union introduces its new digital platform, managing your finances at any time from anywhere.
As a part-time student, balancing work and studies can be a real challenge. But with GCCU's digital app, these worries are no more. My parents can now remotely transfer funds to my account and I can check my balance at any time, giving me the freedom to achieve my goals.
My days can be long and tedious. With this app, I can ensure my loan is paid on time, transfer funds to someone else's account, and check my balances. I don't have to rush to do business during my lunch hour or after work anymore.
With this app, I can request checks to pay my suppliers, letters for my business transactions. I don't have to leave my farm to go stand in line.
The Grenville Credit Union digital platform. It's convenient and secure banking right at your fingertips. Download the app today from the Play Store or App Store or call 442-8602, 459-4325 or 416-8467 for further information.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Kaiso Talk, and tonight we have with us the lady Joan Rowley Tigress. Yes, a powerhouse in the Kaiso, of course. And so far we've been hearing some really interesting stories from Tigress, and we're looking forward to hearing some more. Tigress, I want to take you back to 1988 when you first made it to the final. In fact, that year there were 4 newcomers in the final that year. Yourself, Protector, Tambu, Dennis Plummer. They made the final for the first time as well. And Croco won the crown that year with 3 Borat. Gypsy and Stalin was also there. So you were in a competition with some seasoned artists. Mm-hmm. How was it for you going in there?
It was really an accomplishment for me because that was my first year on the big, going out in the big leagues. Mm-hmm. So that really was an accomplishment for me to hear your name. Now it's not a big thing because if your name don't call, you could just take them to court and you'll get either a pre-action protocol letter. It was not that. It was your name called and I was pleased as punch. And it really was an experience.
Yeah, and I hope you can recall. It's a long time, but the competition. It's the March Gras night, and you're there. You're waiting to perform, and you're looking at the other artists performing, and you know, apart from that being an accomplishment, can you recall what was going through your mind? If I'm going to go out there and
okay, first of all, this is something you sit at home and look at on television. You look at the March Gras on television, because that time the March Gras is the mass and the pan and everything. Remember that just recently changed. And now you're sitting in your dressing room and you're like, wait a minute, I am part of it. Yeah. I am, even from when we went to pull the numbers, because that time it was a big thing. You had to go to TTT and it was on the new, and you know, and I'm like, okay, it's really happening. It is really happening. So to me, that in itself was an accomplishment. Where I placed didn't matter, because to me, I had already won.
Right, just being there.
Just being there.
Yeah. You placed 5th that year.
Yes.
You. I mean, that is significant. I mean,
yes. I think that's only because I had a false start in the first round.
Ah, all right. Okay.
Yes, I had a false start. Yes.
Interesting.
Didn't know that well, I know now that you lose points for a false start and all like that. Yes, but I had a false start.
Yeah. Well, nowadays in a false start, you get disqualified.
Oh, no.
No, I just talking track and field here. One false and you're out.
That's fine. It works. It all depends on who you are. It works.
Yeah. So throughout the journey, let's talk about it. Throughout the years, of course, you started, then there was United Sisters, then you continued, you know, throughout the years. What were some of the high points for you in that 30 plus years career?
One of the high points for me was, I'll never forget that night, 2009, when we are there and my whole crew started screaming from the time they heard 3rd, and then but I just knew it. I knew based from semifinals, because from semifinals it was it 40 was in the semifinals, because it was one song. And I was number 21 or 22, somewhere around there. But whichever way, normally the intermission is at the half mark, but it was not that year. Because Mr. Manning had it that the intermission was after me. So when I walked off the stage, I walked into him. I walked straight into him. Yes. So right there and then, I knew you ain't going to win this, because, mind you, what I was saying was, well, looking back now, that's a whole other show. But I know he was not in agreement with what I was saying, because he told me, I have a verse that I could give you to sing. You know, he told me that. He said, I have a verse that I could give you to sing. And I remember Junior Regrello getting in, and he said, "No, Pops, I'm talking." And Shuma, Baron's wife, was standing right there. And she was like, because he put it right there for when I won. So when I heard Chocolates come with that song about "Don't Touch My Heart," I'm like, okay, that is the counteract what I'm saying here. So I was not surprised. I knew it, and Chocolates even said it to me afterward. He said, I must commend you on your composure throughout this whole thing. I remember Alo saying, you know what that means? That means he just tell you, you know, you be that's the prize given. Yeah. Of course, we all laugh because, but I knew that was it. But it was just a good feeling for me of what the song did also. Yes, but because it went.
Yeah. Calypso is a thing, and it is always said, if you want to recall some aspects of history or what happened a couple of years ago, listen to Calypso. Yes. That song, Wajang, and that's the name of the song, right?
Say that again?
Wajang is the name of that was the name of the song.
Wajang is the name of the song.
Right. tell us a little bit about the song and what you were actually talking about. I mean, in my mind, I am thinking I can recall there was a period in the PNM where Manning and Rowley had their little back and forth.
They had their loggerheads because Dr. Rowley did run for the political leader. He did go up for that election. And when asked, and then he couldn't take Dr. Rowley carrying on, in his words, his wajang behavior. That is where, that actual word was used by the now deceased, by the Honorable Mr. Manning. That was used by him, that he cannot take his wajang behavior. So then remember, he kind of had him alienated from everything. And he was the housing minister, but it so happened that was a play on the name, because it so happened my name is also Rowley. So I really never called anybody's name, but my name is Rowley. Yeah, so that was the fun part of it. And then of course, Mastermind did a fantastic job with the music.
Right.
So the music was also really catchy.
Let me ask you this though. Did you actually shave the head for that performance?
Yes.
I mean, look, that performance, I mean, it stood out. It's something I would always remember. Coming out in that huge thing, and then the suit underneath with the and then and I'm wondering, did she actually shave her head?
Man. It's just here.
Val, I think you should come in here now.
Alan knelt down in front of me. He said, "Tigress, I take my hat off to you." He told me that. He said, "I take my hat off to you." He kneeled down. He said, "I have to bend. I have to do this." He said, "Tigress, you're a boss." I said, it's just here.
You don't go back?
It's just here.
Yes.
Joanne, once again, I have a two-part question. Most of the Calypsonians were given names by other Calypsonians, you know. Blakey named a number of people. Sparrow, I think, even named Marva, Jivago, probably.
Named Sandra, yeah.
Did you choose your name or somebody?
Yeah, I chose my name.
You chose your name. So you're one of those who, and you became you're the Tigress and you're fearless.
Yeah.
Right? You're afraid nobody. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Is there any song, looking back honest, that the Tigress have sang in her repertoire, her career so far, that you wish you did not sing? Is there any song at all?
No.
No. All right, so let me push it. What about Denise?
I know that's where you were going. No, because you see, okay, you may have seen something in her passing the other day. May she rest in peace.
Has nothing to do with that. Yeah.
Huh?
Has nothing to do with her passing or anything. Just the song itself.
No. I just make sure and recognize that.
Yeah. All right.
But Zeno put up that song when she passed. A lot of people, unless you follow in Tigress, you would not have known that song. But I thought it was untimely when he put it up.
All right.
Nothing wrong with the song. Nobody knows that she had a song before mine.
All right.
The name of her song was Queen. Yes, and she said, and that was born out of that Calypso show, that the women Calypso show that has in Montserrat right now. That used to be in Antigua. At first it was in St. Martin, and then it was moved to Antigua. And somebody, let me say it this way, Mr. Lapp from Antigua said somebody was complaining that it's unfair that Trinidad have 5 representatives because United Sisters was invited. We didn't carry ourselves there. They sent tickets for us to take part. So they had a problem with 4 of us taking part.
But United States, it's a unit. I mean, it's a unit. So.
But we were all invited to take part as individual.
Oh, okay.
Not as United Sisters.
Right.
And when it came back to us, who? It was Denise. And she said, that's unfair. And that made a whole big thing, not with us. She had a big thing. And then when she came home, she did that song Queen. Because she had won the Queen show, but we were invited to take part. And it is she came back and made the song Queen. So fearlessly, I just responded that song.
The Tigress growled.
That's all. I didn't tell Iowa anything. Iowa interfered with me. So I sang Neil.
Right. And you actually did that in the March as well, right? That song.
Yes, I did. Yes. Kneel and bow your head in shame.
Yeah.
Your mother call you the rightest name. And all I had was a line in Kaiso You Deserve in 1996 when I said, with the Calypso we have it now, them boys from Point 14, I did, mind you, I and I were friends in it. That have nothing to do with this song. Mind you, when I'm singing that, I'm getting a drop to come home with Iowa, you know. By the way, yes, them boys from Point 14 will make a recycling part with Boom Boom on sale, resale, and hotel. But he pick up me now and sing about Think It Over. So again, fearless me had to.
You had to respond.
Yeah, I had to respond.
No, but and that's the thing. And we were speaking earlier about it. These are somebody that made the Kaiso nice. You know,
Yes.
There was this thing, and I remember I was looking at something on YouTube. It was a Kaiso tent. I think it would have been the Aloes tent in the early days. So that's when Sparrow came back, won the crown. I think Coco came second, and there was this talk that Aloes felt that Sparrow shouldn't have won, and then Crow used Aloes' melody and did a little pick-on, and then while he was at the tent doing the song, Aloes came out as if he was, and it was really nice, you know. It was beautiful, you know. I mean, and the crowd was just going crazy.
Yes.
Then when Aloes came out to sing, and he started singing Crow making confusion for a lancer. Crow came out and chased Aloes, and it was just so much fun. And this is what made it nice. You know, it has changed. Why Tigress?
It has. It has. It really, really has. And it's sad. It is really, really sad. I remember that would have been about 92. I had a song I was singing, Two Roads. And I always use that as an example because the high point of the Calypsonian at the tent is that you get an encore. Though sometimes at that time you don't even recognize a good song is a good song, and a round of applause. It's not every time it needs an encore, but the Kaisonian need you want an encore. But this song was not, and Protector and Delamo, that bothered them. And come. Sing this verse for me. All right, no, don't say that word. And those are lessons that remain with me up to now. You cannot do that now. The writer telling you to touch his song, and mind you, they never even asked me who wrote the song. They never asked me that. But whatever they told me, another people, some people I spent time with too was like Creole and Power. When I was singing a minor and seeing hell, Creole come and sit down in front with all his watches on. Sing it. And I'm singing, and I hear they start to laugh. They says a minor, you have to know how to sing a minor. And they spoon feed me through this. So and these are lessons learned, and I thank God for those every day. That you don't have that now. You think I could tell any of these little young people coming here, don't do this or don't do that? But I thank God for the people that told me that. I thank God for those that held my hand along the way.
Right.
Tigress, you came into the business, and there are always Calypsonians, major ones out there, male or female. Are there any number of them that you just called some name, but I don't know whether you recognize them when you started as the people who you wanted to emulate or got something from?
I got something.
Who are the Calypsonians you picked up lessons from that help you in your journey?
Black Stalin with the Savannah stage. Always admire how he works that stage like it's just his little porch at his house. I always admired him with that. I admire Duke, that he never would bend over when he's singing. He would always stand tall. You never see Duke bending over when he's singing. Another person that gave me valuable lessons too was Pretender, believe it or not. He would tell me, don't dance. Use the spade. He use the spade when you're singing.
I heard Kurt Allen spoke about the spade, but that's when I learned about it. I didn't know.
Yeah. Use the spade. And then it have those that will sit down and they would listen to your song, and they tell you, take that song down half a beat. And these are little lessons that remain with me up to now. And up to now, I'll say, oh, how you want me to do this song? But Luther, I just always tell people, when I went to another writer, it wasn't hard, but I had to learn it, because Luther used to spoon feed my song to me. This is not because I came from singing. And singing, now I see they're taking Calypso and making it a singing competition. But it is not, it is delivery.
Yeah.
And that is what Luther would always tell me. Calypso is not singing. Calypso is delivery.
Let me just butt in here quickly, Tigress. And I'm so glad you made that point, because I think even in Grenada, there's loads of Calypsonians here who do not understand that.
It's delivery. It's delivery. And I learned that from Luther, Pretender, Delamo, Shadow. If Shadow telling you something, trust me, take it. That too fast, man. You ain't find that too slow. Or that's all he would tell you. That's all. It's now up to you. He ain't telling you how fast to go with it, but that's all he would tell you.
Yeah.
Take it down, man. Them jumpy and them ain't getting time to dance. That he would give you. And these are valuable. You would not believe how valuable those things remain with me up to today.
Have you had interactions? Because since we started this program, many of the Calypsos that came on, they've spoken about their association or their interaction with Lord Kitchener or Sparrow, two of the greats. Have you had any interactions with Kitch or Sparrow throughout your?
Oh yes, I did. The fun part about the tent was, I was singing at New Wave Calypso Theatre, which is now Kaiso House. When that is finished, you're going up by Spectacular. When that is finished, you're going down by Review, because by Review, with the Bacchanal going on down there, when the tent finishes, just intermission down there,
Right.
Yes, that's just the intermission down there. So that's where everybody headed. But when I came in, that was the last year for Sparrow's Young Brigade. Because that was when they had the protest and all of that, and the tent was no more. But I have had interaction with the Mighty Sparrow on a personal level, especially living abroad and all like that. And we would talk, and when he started telling the stories and all like that, those things are priceless. Like up to now, we talk, but I haven't spoken to him for the week, but we talk all the time. And then he would tell you, well, them young one, if this was so, if that was so, yes, but I did. Black Stalin and all too, yes, I did.
Right, wonderful.
Yes.
Let's fast forward. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go.
1 second, again. Tigress as a female, and I just want to put that in, that a female Calypsonian, we have heard people talking about a lot of the women do sing a lot of what they consider either weeping or lamentation songs, songs of lamentation. What do you think? Is that a correct position that they have placed women in, that a lot of the female Calypsonians tend to only gravitate to singing these weeping or songs of lamentation?
Clearly, they wouldn't refer to me.
But you're out there and you're hearing, you know what you... Yeah.
Yes, I would say yes. Because the women tend to be mindful of where they're going. They want to stay in a safe area. You don't want to step out of the box. But it is okay to, but we have to also know it is okay to step out of the box.
All right. And you wouldn't advise the female colleagues that it's good to step out?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. All right.
They ain't gonna listen anyway.
All right.
They're not gonna listen anyway.
While we on the younger Calypsonians, I mean, we've seen in recent times a lot of young people coming into the Calypso. Also, one of the arguments, Tigress, as it relates to the Calypso art form not being what it used to be, has to do with the type of material that is put forward. What's your take on that?
And that goes right back to what I was telling you earlier about how far back the Calypsonian has get pushed. So you try to get, and then we had the now president saying that he's against political songs. To me, one of the best songs I heard for the year is Kurt Allen's song. Because I like to look at the songs and say what I would sing. That's one I would sing.
Right.
Oh, most definitely. That is one I would sing. And again, it's a political song. But you find everybody want to go safe, and we want to go safe because and I have to say we have gotten ourselves down in a rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole that we are in is the Calypsonian, the Calypso tent is funded by the government. So, in all fairness, you can't sit down on the river stone and talk the river bad. in all fairness. And then we have some thin-skinned politicians. If you say that in a song, it's a song. Come on, and you're not saying anything that is libel. You are saying something that you either picked up on social media or it was on the newspaper. So this is just news that's coming back in song. That's all it is, really. But once you hear it back, you're going to be upset. Because the tents are no longer by corporate. Like, you don't see Coca-Cola across the banner for the stage.
Right.
We have the food markets. You don't see, it's not high-low, Massey. You don't see Massey stores. Everybody know where, they already singing for the supper because it's coming from. So we have ourselves down in that hole that we have to be mindful of what we are saying now. So that's why earlier, remember when I told you going on all by myself, I will sing what I want to sing.
So a lot of it is about the purse.
Yes. Whereas the tent, we know tent opening from Boxing Day. Now the tent open for 2 weeks, and if they have 3 shows, they have a lot.
Or less, yeah.
Or less.
Yeah. And I guess what do you look for in a song? You have been singing for 37 years. What do you look for in a song?
What I look for in a song is, and I don't look for anything in a song anymore. I tell writers I am at a stage where I could tell my own story. It doesn't mean that you're a writer of alto and can't tell me, Tigress, I have a song you should listen to. It doesn't say that I would not say that. I would not, I would appreciate that, and I would do that. But I sit down and I decide what I want to sing, and I go with that make or break. I think I am at a stage where I could tell my own story. Do I have the ability to put it pen on paper? No. I would jot down everything. I would tell you, I want the first verse to deal with this. I want to deal with this in this verse. I want the second verse to deal with this. No. The last verse must be so and so and so. I would tell you all of that, and that's where I'm at with my music right now.
So you need not a writer, but a notator. Somebody
it's a writer because I can't write it.
But you are giving them all the ideas. You jot down things.
I give you everything, and I will tell you.
It together.
Yes, I don't want it in a dirge. I want it a little upbeat. I will tell you all of that too. Like Rowley to Rowley, Hollis Wright and I gelled on that one because I told him, and then he came back and he gave me a verse. I said, no. I don't want that. I want to deal with culture. I want to deal with this. I want to deal with Ministry of Health. I want to deal with this. I want to do this. And then he put the da 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 da, and that gelled really, really well together.
Excellent.
Yes, so that's where I'm at with how I select a song.
What is happening now with the Kaiso? Do you think we would ever see a change, or this is the path it's going, and that's it?
I don't think so. I don't think we're going anywhere. When I say we're not going anywhere, we're going to remain right where we are at. First of all, I'm one that don't think Calypsonians should be at the helm.
Right.
That's just me. It's either you're singing or you're at the helm. There are a lot of people who, Calypso lovers, not if you are a writer, if you're a functioning writer, you cannot have a conflict of interest. You cannot have a conflict of interest. There are too many people out there that are Calypso lovers that if Tuco is a body, let them be at the helm. Yes, you must have a board that is going to oversee that we hope will oversee and be there for the best interest of the Calypsonian. But that's not what I am seeing. And I still think we will get the better out of it if you have a body that has absolutely nothing to do with the music. You're not singing.
Right. Focus on the business aspect of things to help.
On the business aspect of it. And Calypso was so much sweeter. And there was that camaraderie when it didn't have money in it.
Oh, boy. Like everything else.
Yes, now it has money.
Like so everything else.
Who never even make a semi-final since 1965 could suddenly get $100,000 because you ain't sing. Because you are a Calypsonian, if you don't sing, you will get money. That is raping the art form.
Val, you feel the same way?
Yeah, but I think she say Calypsonians at the helm. The thing about it is that I don't think it's the money per se that is the problem. I think that you definitely have the wrong set of managers, and one need to look at the managers and look at the whole structure of the thing, you know. The fact that in the history of, let's say, the organization, you have not had some of the really top flight Calypsonians being part of the organization and making demands on it. They have always kind of stayed apart and allow some, for want of a better term, some minions to take over the reign of power, so that you really don't put cat to watch fish, you know. That's all.
And this is exactly what I'm saying. Okay, and I just always get in trouble because I don't have a filter. No, I don't have a filter. If this is what it is, this is what it is. And I remember one year that they were honoring Rose. And I heard somebody from on the executive singing a song about Rose. And I said it. I said, but didn't Martha Stewart go to jail for that? But they was upset with, of course they was upset with me. And then I don't have to be she living here and why she coming here. That's what it would reach down to. But I said it. I said, Martha Stewart went to jail for that. That is called insider trading. Or you suddenly come up with a song about Rose because you know they're honoring Rose. That is wrong. That is wrong. But this is what happens when you have the practicing Calypsonian at the helm.
So I'm not going to ask you how do you fix it, because that's a lengthy discussion.
Yeah.
You know? I think honestly the only thing that one can do is create better songs and sing better songs. You know, I think that anybody looking on know that the tents are in a state, right? The tents are not drawing crowd. I heard what you said earlier on, Joanne, but there are nobody coming to the tents.
No.
Right? It's really depleted, and I think that the product is at stake. In other discussions, some Calypsonians mentioned the selection process that happened around auditions, right? That has fallen away, and that is
a joke. Auditions is a joke. Auditions used to be fun. We used to go audition just for the fun of it. Right. But the thing about it is that we have the remedy and don't even realize we have the remedy. Because we have a money pit. I mean, a carnival village. We have a carnival. That money pit they call it carnival village. Anyway, the same Calypsonians that sing in the tents, let's go and sing in the village. Put the tent in the village. The money that you're paying them to sing to 4 people and 3 people nightly, put them in the village. Because you're paying the same Calypsonian to come and sing in the village.
Right.
And paying them more too.
And you're paying them more too.
Right. But there's a dog fight to get into the village.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. Put them in the village.
But who?
Let the village be the tent.
But who does that? Whose responsibility it is?
The village is free.
The village is free.
So what is that saying about your art form? That
nothing. It's not saying anything. It's speaking that you are giving that to the public for free.
Because it is not good.
No.
Then close down all the tents and let just people come to the village and listen to Calypso for free.
Yeah, because you're paying the same art, but it's the same government paying you to sing in the village, and it's the same government paying you to sing in the tent. Go in the village.
Yeah, but Tigress, as you said, if there's a money pit, then by all means,
you like that?
Pay them in the I love it. I want to fall in that pit.
Because you have shows there nightly, and the village is packed.
Right.
Nightly. The village is I sang in the village. I was tired when I left there. Because there is people evermore. And you get the audience is a lively audience. But you are paying the same people to sing in City Hall. 6 people in City Hall. Carry the tent in the village.
So whose responsibility it is to do that?
Really, nobody really, because everybody just happy-go-lucky. Up in La Jolla, 6 people. Let it be that tonight they're in the village, and it's heavy enough to make a north village and a south village. So put them down in south. Because not everybody wants to journey up the highway. Put a village in town and a village in south.
Yeah, but that marks the end of what Railway Douglas started in 1922, the end of a Calypso tent. Because it's...
But Val, if the truth and in fact is there really isn't a tent. I mean, you have people going and singing in a building, but I mean...
No,
I'm just saying
really.
That...
this is a matter of trying to inject something back into it because you're killing it further. Because now You have to pay for this for where they are. It's wasting money.
But the tent is dead, not because that Calypso is dead. The tent is dead because you have some bad managers. You have the selection process that's supposed to happen at auditions is not happening. You have people who are seeded years in advance. They're not moving. The tents are just bringing in 2 other singers to complement what they have. So those are the problems. And unless you get rid of those kinds of problems, the tent would remain dead.
The other thing is it have so much going on in that little space of time. There's so much going on. I still think to inject some life back into it, let the tent go there.
Let it go to the village.
Let the tent go to the village. The tent, and you are saying so-and-so tent is in the village tonight.
Right.
You're not just having them on a show. Classic Rousseau is in the village on so-and-so.
So that's part of the yes.
Right. Review is in the village so-and-so night. If they want to, because the only tent really out there is Review. From since then, that's the only tent it still have.
But let me ask this: what actually happens in the village?
The village is vendors. It's a carnival village.
Right.
It's vendors. It has a bar. It have food. It have arts. It has craft, and then you have the stage where you have music.
Right. So you have performances. But let me ask this. If in truth and in fact that one of the reasons behind the Kaiso tent not being able to draw people, if it has to do with the material that has been put out by Kaisonians, would it make a difference if they go to the village?
They'll be singing to people.
The
village is packed nightly.
But that village being packed nightly could be for a particular reason, and that reason could possibly be not Kaiso.
No, it's Calypso. This is what I'm telling you. The village hires the same Calypsonians
to come to perform.
Yes.
Okay.
So the same purse that is paying them in the tent is paying them in the village. Money pit.
But that's the point.
Oh, let me just put another spin on that, because Kurt Allen said that he is not contracted to sing in the village because people feel that the song will not go down well in the village because the village is predominantly a partisan crowd. You know?
Well, it's not the crowd. It's not the crowd.
He said that they wouldn't hire him. He tried.
They would not.
They would not hire him to go to the village.
Okay, you heard that part. You now heard that part. They wouldn't hire him. Okay. They wouldn't hire him.
And on the stage himself. He can't climb up the stage. He can't climb up the stage himself. No. Somebody has to hire you. Somebody has to call you.
Somebody has to hire him. Okay. And the powers that be would not hire him to sing that song, and he said, no. I was called to sing in the village. Could I just have a political night? Yes, I was called to sing in the village because my song was in favor. Yeah, Wajang was in favor.
So sad. So that the village is not as free for everyone as it is made to be.
No.
So that's you
have to do a particular line.
You're plugged to have everybody go to the village and sing, may not work for other people. You know?
The tent, well, if you're in the tent, they might want to tell you what to sing when you're going in the village.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they'll tell you what to sing in any event, because I know that for a fact, because Lady Gypsy suffered that. Yes. Lady Gypsy suffered that when the tent was going to point to tell her, you can't sing Political Cemetery. Yeah. So, but I still think let the tents go in the village. I still think so.
Interesting. You know, it just shows. It just goes to show. And you made the point. Calypso is way down in the back, and there are so many reasons being cited for that. It's a difficult thing.
Everybody want to sing a safe song now, so suddenly everybody get patriotic. Oh, jeez, everybody loves their country suddenly now. So you will hear only as a test piece. You will hear so many versions of a crime song and you'll hear, so many versions of how much I love my country.
You have 2 questions before we end up. One, Lady B, the writer. Tell me, how did you see your sister?
Brilliant writer. Brilliant writer. I always make mention of the song Hostage that she did. The spin that she took on Hostage when we had the coup. I don't know if you remember that, Hostage. Yeah, Hostage. Beautiful. She was a great writer. She was.
All right. Amber Tyler.
She did Amber Tyler Woman herself, and Kenny did the melody and she did the lyrics.
Oh, lovely.
Yes,
Right.
Amber Tyler.
I know she was responsible for Patrice.
Yes. She doesn't. I doesn't hear her saying that, but that's who, because she used to teach Best Village up there.
Right. That's Patrice Roberts?
Patrice
Yes.
Roberts. Was responsible for bringing out Patrice.
Well, okay. Yes.
Because she discovered her when she went up there to teach, because she used to do community development.
Lovely. Because Patrice started in Calypso. I remember,
Yes.
she started Calypso.
Yes. And then she branched over to soca.
Right. There's just a couple comments on our Facebook page. Let me just share quickly with us. So someone says, I think you mentioned orange is your favorite color?
Yes, it is.
Someone said you do look good in orange.
Oh, thank you.
Someone says, wow, love this lady's energy. Applause. Great convo. Someone says, it's the same people in the village every year and you don't get it. Only if you know somebody. And someone says, and these people tax money paying for nepotism. Laugh out loud. Just a couple comments on the page.
Same person paying them in the tent, the same person paying them in the village. Let them go in the village.
Right. Fair enough.
Joanne, age is not a number. You know, they can't leave you out of the game. What next for the Tigress? And whether we are seeing the Tigress back in the ring punching hard next year or so, what next?
I don't know. I'm leaving that to the culture gods. I'm leaving that to the culture gods. I don't
so you
know.
have a little area that you go and light your stuff and talk to them?
No, they talk to me.
They talk to you?
They trust me, they talk to me.
All
Just
right.
as how they tell me, sing what you're willing to die for. And yeah, that's a good topic, yeah. What you're willing to die for. Then they come back to me, Rowley to Rowley. Okay. All right, I could do that. Might be upset about it, but that's okay. Who feels it knows. Again. But then I wrote a letter prior to the stage have no age. So I think that might have affected the stage have no age. Because I didn't like what was going on with Tobago and the winner coming and all like that. And I wrote a letter to the president. So I think that might have a little thing on it. Again, like I said, I don't ask nobody to join in the protest with me. I protest all by myself.
Lovely. Tigress, I could sit here and chat with you all night, but of course, like everything else, all good things must come to an end.
It was come to an end, but we did have a wonderful time.
Oh, yes, indeed. Next time I go to Trinidad, I have to look for that money pit. I want to fall along inside it. I want to follow it. No. And I believe there is because, based on what you've put forward, there's absolutely no doubt that there's a money pit somewhere. Val, you know, Val, you had to bring back that money, Peter. Right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know where the pit located, eh?
We go find it. We go find it. We go.
I know.
We're gonna find it. We're gonna find it. Tigress, any closing what you want to leave with our listeners and viewers?
Closing words, I want to say thank you so much for having me. This really, really was fun. The only thing missing from this was some cold beers.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely.
But you could have it after. You could have it after Tigress.
No. It was like a conversation.
Yeah.
That your bongs.
Kaiso talk. That's the thing about it, you know. That's the kind of Kaiso talk. Definitely.
We in Holy Week. So we will have to. So the bears will have to turn to Morby.
Yeah, we could just just say 2 words and tell
Holy Week.
Yeah, definitely.
So my closing words be to all under the power of our voice at this time: a blessed and a holy Easter to each and every one.
Yes.
And remember what this season is all about.
Yes, indeed. Val,
Yes.
you're
Well, it was great having Tigress on the set. You know, she's that herself and Marva, the last link to the United Sisters, and she did tell.
Like I said, for her birthday on her page, they don't make us like us. They don't make us like us.
yeah.
And last week Wednesday was her birthday. You were supposed to be on, and it did not happen. But you're here this Wednesday, and we thank you for that.
Indeed.
So,
for having me.
Yeah, Joanne, continue to enjoy your life, and we look forward to hearing you.
Yes,
You know?
please do. And
As soon as possible.
And I'm hoping to be in Grenada for Carnival this year.
Well, definitely. Just
I want to go and see the Veku for myself. I want to hear it in my ears.
yeah. That would be wonderful.
And what about playing Jab Jab?
I don't know about the oil part.
Playing Jab. What do you
No.
mean?
The frogs and all of that. No,
The frog and the snake, you can't take that?
No. Nah, I can't take that back.
Beautiful indeed. Tigress, thank you so very much for
Thank you so much for having me.
accepting the invitation to be here. And of course, as I always tell people, this is the first, but definitely not the last. So we're looking forward to having you on again at some point.
Thank
Of
you
course,
so much.
there's always so much to talk about.
Always.
Thank you.
Conversations could go on and on.
Definitely, and I'm sure Val would get in touch with you at some point. We will definitely be having you on Legends in Concert.
Yes,
Yeah,
just
definitely.
you know how to find me.
Oh, definitely. So thanks again and all the best. Over good night, yes? And happy Easter to you. Definitely. All right.
All right.
Great,
Good
yes.
evening, everyone. Have a good one.
And then Sunday